Welcome to the I'm Healing podcast. I'm your host and healer, Iris L. Mendez of ILM Healing Solutions. Here, we review healing stories, self-inquiry, and solutions for the soul. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at the I'm Healing podcast and at ILM_healing. Let's heal. All right, great. Welcome. We are here with the I'm Healing. This is an I'm Healing podcast. This will be on the I'm Healing podcast, and this will also be on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for watching. My name is Iris, or for tuning in. For those of you who don't know me, I am the founder of ILM Healing Solutions, and this is being streamed right now live on Monday, August 16th, in my private Facebook group for women, the Healing Solution Space, and this is the Healing Solution segment. And today we have Maryann. So I'm super excited because she's been on the podcast before. So this is her first rodeo. And I want to make sure that we're not redundant, but if we are, well, it's going to serve whoever it needs to serve. But I'm just super excited. Maryann has become one of my soul sisters, and she's going to tell us all about all the things that she's done. She's got some wonderful products now. Her titles have changed since the last time I spoke with her in this formal setting. And she not only is going to talk to us about healing, her own healing journey, but she's going to talk about how she did that with mandalas, with moon rituals, and also as a Reiki master now. So for those of you who want to know about what Usui Reiki is and all the things, she's going to be able to tell us today. So Maryann, let us know who you are, how we can find you, and then let us know. I want to start off with asking you which of the three, Reiki, mandalas, or moon rituals, do you think has helped you the most in your healing journey, and why?
I would have to say the mandalas. Definitely, because at the end of the day, or when things go to shit or whatever, I always go back to drawing a mandala. Like if I can't cope, it always goes back to that for me. And it always reminds me that was when my journey really started.
So when did you first get introduced to mandalas?
I first got introduced to mandalas back in 2017. I was living in Philadelphia for a while, and then I moved to Cherry Hill, where I was completely by myself, and I was depressed. I was suicidal, like everything. I was in my late 20s and just trying to figure out life, and I had kind of failed miserably at that point. It was just like nothing was working out, and like I said, being alone out there was causing a lot of issues. So I was depressed, so I started using those coloring apps on my phone. And like
the adult ones?
Yeah, like the adult coloring. This one was just regular coloring of things. So there was this one mandala that I just saw was beautiful. I spent a lot of time coloring it, like so much time that at the end when I was done coloring it, I was like, I need to draw this. And then I started drawing. That's how I started drawing mandalas.
So we have a question here in the comments, which is going to be my next question. So thank you for that. For those people which I know you touched on a little bit in the previous episode of the podcast, but just the refresher, what is a mandala? I think I see one behind you if you're watching this.
And there's one on my shirt too. I'll tell you guys more about the shirts later, but yeah, this is a big mandala right behind me. And they're an art form, basically. The word mandala means circle in Sanskrit. And what they do is they're an art form for us in the Western world, but what they really are, they are a powerful meditation tool. They don't come into existence like out of nothing. I mean, unless you're an artist already just doing designs. I don't know about people that draw mandalas like that, but when you're drawing a mandala, it has to be done with great detail and attention, because a mandala symbolizes various levels of awareness within us, like as an individual, and it brings about the energy of healing and it unifies like everything in your life. So that's like a mini version of what a mandala is.
Yeah, for me, mandalas, when I think of a mandala, I recall working when I worked at one of the local children's hospitals. I used to work with patients who had eating disorders. And a lot of times when we did like therapeutic practices with them, and the art therapist would come in, or myself as the one-to-one would come in, we would incorporate the quote unquote like adult coloring books or regular coloring books. And a lot of times the adult coloring books would have the circular shape, very intricate design type of what I now know to be a mandala. And it was actually a part of the art therapist's routine with this population, patients who have eating disorders, because it symbolized the circle, like you said, but it also symbolized the plate. And, you know, with them struggling and eating, looking at the symbol of it as a plate to be able to get through it. And one of the things that for me, what I like about it from an artistic standpoint, I'm not a drawer or a painter. I mean, I will dabble in it when I need to as part of self-care, but I don't want to say I can't, but I don't have the capabilities of doing it as intricate as you do, like by hand. And so, what'd you say?
I was the same way. I was like, I can't draw. Like, I'm not an artist. Never in my life thought I would consider myself one.
Oh, wow. Well, I thought you were always like an artist, because your work is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I just know that when it comes to mandalas, it reminds me of just the art form or the practice of mindfulness in and of itself. Because you do have to have patience and awareness, and it is very intricate. And when I would recommend clients to get like a coloring book or something like that, my coaching clients, or when I was a therapist, I would often tell them to pay close attention to how they are actually coloring, or how they're actually like creating whatever it is. Because if you try to rush through it, then 9 times out of 10 you're probably operating outside of your life in that way. And right. You're not like staying in the lines, or like maybe you notice for yourself, or do you ever notice for yourself when you draw, if you're having like maybe a rough patch or maybe a low day, that maybe your lines aren't as intricate, or maybe like, you know, is that something that you notice? Because it is a transference there in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed that a lot, especially when I was starting. I drew my first, I wish I had it with me. It's like on a Post-it somewhere, but I drew my first mandala on a Post-it, and it was November 2nd, 2017. And that date is so important to me, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But I would rush through it, and then like eventually I learned like, okay, no, I gotta trace these. So I started tracing them, and then eventually I started being like, you know, being able to just draw a circle without having any help. So it takes practice. And like I said, I couldn't draw for shit before I started drawing mandalas. Now I can, if I take my time, I can draw something, like, you know, I can draw anything, I think, if I just take my time.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I took away from the mandalas was like you said, you know, people in therapy had to do it. I was not in therapy at the time. I was lost in Cherry Hill, and drawing the mandalas made me realize, like, you know, it helped me take the steps I needed to get help. I had to come back home to North Jersey. I had to start getting therapy. I had to get a new job. And like I said, I drew my first mandala on November. I did all the work, got help and everything. They diagnosed me with bipolar disorder, like exactly a year after I started drawing mandalas. And I don't think that it's not a coincidence. I think that it has something to do with the portal that I opened for the healing portal.
Can you still hear me? Because I'm getting some feedback here that there's some audio issues, but I want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, good. So I thank you for sharing that. And I think that is wonderful that you were able to navigate your own healing, in a sense, like being able to say, hey, I need support, I need help. And also notice what coping skills and what healing tools you might need that now you're the expert in a sense.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, like, the most important thing is, like, I'm not just drawing these circles and magic is happening. As you draw a mandala, you are putting your mental complexities on a grid, right? It's sacred geometry, which is a whole nother topic that we can get into, but we're not going to get into. But it's sacred geometry, and what comes in There's, like I said, separate. As you draw, you exercise like the exorcist, right? You're exercising your demons. Whatever's happening in your mind, you're drawing and you're actively thinking about things. And you can actively, you can purposely sit down and draw mandala with the intention of loving someone or loving yourself more. There's so many different ways that we can talk with mandalas, but just drawing a simple, like putting it down on a paper, paying attention to it, and letting your mind just kind of wander a little bit is so powerful.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Valerie commented that sounds very cool. And if you could see, if you're watching this live or on YouTube when this gets uploaded, behind Maryann right now, she has a tapestry with looks like a dream catcher, and in the middle of the dream catcher is the intricate circular design, and then to the other side of her she has a quote, and that looks like half of a mandala as well. So she's also wearing mandalas, and now with all of her artwork, she is now selling it. So tell us more about how you got into now producing these beautiful products. I need to get a yoga mat stat.
Yes, my friend got a yoga mat and it came out beautifully. I love it.
I like the one I think you had mandalas at Just Breathe, and that's one of the tattoos that I have right here. It says Just Breathe.
Nice.
So I was like, I need to get a yoga mat. So.
Yeah, it was a tapestry, and the yoga mat definitely, that's one of my favorites. I need to get myself a yoga mat personally. But yeah, I discovered the Cricut. I don't know if if you guys are aware. A lot of you, I'm sure, are. I got a Cricut for my birthday, and I started printing my mandalas. I started making little little cards here and there, and notebooks. I made some journals. I made some bags and stuff like that. And now next week, I'm gonna be launching my t-shirts. Let me put this down a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. But I'm gonna be launching my t-shirts next week. And yeah, I'm just doing my thing with the arts. I just dove head first into it, and
so if you want a personalized mandala or one of her designs, hit her up. She's got mugs, she's got shirts coming out, she's got yoga mats, tote bags. Tell us what else you're offering besides the products, or if there's anything else that I haven't mentioned, because you've been doing
I'm also well, if you want to check out everything all together, go to mysticalmandalamama.com. mysticalmandalamama.com. That's my website. I have my blog there. All of my products are available for purchase there. You can book a session with me for Reiki, which I also offer services. I'm a Reiki master. I'm also a Vixen workout coach. So I do a little bit of dancing, shaking that booty.
Yes, and she's not foreign to this group, the Healing Solution Space. She was in this group before, and she did a wonderful Vixen workout, which had me moving my hips and working my sacral chakra, and also sweating, I will say. So Vixen workout dances are more sensual, would you say, than your regular workout dances, like a Zumba class?
Yeah, I would say it's like Zumba, but really cute and sexy and fun. Zumba is Zumba is fun, but Vixen puts that extra detail on the choreography and the movement. They make sure you sweat like crazy doing Vixen.
I feel like I'm a performer when I do Vixen.
That's exactly.
I feel like I'm Beyonce's backup dancer or something.
That's exactly what it is. It's performance-based workout. That's what they call themselves. Yeah. So right now I'm doing one-on-ones. I'm not teaching classes, but I'm offering one-on-one sessions with people. So if you're interested in trying out Vixen, let me know. DM me.
I know you were doing one-on-one. It's good to know. Good to know. So last time we talked, you formally rather. So let me share real quick how I met Maryann, for those of you who may not have listened to that episode, or you may not know, how our relationship came about. So I was doing wellness, I guess, challenges 3-4 years ago, and that's how I met Maryann, was was through one of my sorority sisters, and we just stayed friends on Facebook, never had met her in real life. And then sometime around March last year, pandemic hit, COVID hit, Maryann slides in my DMs and she says, hey, I have this Moon Bay group. Would you like to be a part of it? We meet, once or twice a month for moon rituals. And I was like, cool, that's dope. So she put me in her IG group, the Moon Bay group, and then she sent me information on the moon rituals, which at that point she was doing them virtually because of COVID. And so tell me a little bit about how you got into moon rituals, because it really, honestly, I don't think I've ever said this to you, but practicing moon rituals myself over the past a little bit over a year now, following the new moon and the moon has been transformative for my healing, for my manifestation, for my connection to source, higher power, higher self, Mother Earth, Pachamama in general. And it was because of Maryann that I went to my first plant medicine ceremony with the shaman who's going to be in this group. It was because of Samantha, who was in her Moon Bay group, who invited me. So that's how you see how universe works. You're given and put in places that you're supposed to be at the right time. So tell me a little bit about the moon rituals and kind of when you started it, or how that became a part of your process, or even just the benefits of it.
Sure, yeah, and I'll break down a couple of the moon phases also for you ladies. That's like one of my favorites. So for me, it all started with the moon and the sun, because straight up, I was raised Catholic, but I denounced Catholicism. I was like, I'm not, I'm not going to church. I'm not going to pray to these gods or whatever. I'm not denouncing it really. That was like a strong word to use. If you're Catholic, good for you. But I found myself lost. I was like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. I'm agnostic at some point. I was like, I believe that there's something out there, but I don't know. So what I started to do after the mandalas and everything, after I got my first Reiki attunement, I started praying to the moon and to the sun. And that was where my prayers went. I would just sit, outside, whether it was night or day, or I'd look at the moon through my window and I'll just say my prayers. And then I met Kelly Espino, and I started following her on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook and Instagram, everywhere. Cause I was obsessed. We were obsessed with each other, but, she had in her stories, how you save your stories in your profile, or I don't forget what it's, the highlights. In her highlights, she had the moon ritual, the full moon ritual that we do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And I tried it and I loved it. And then the following month, I was like, you know what? Let me invite these girls to my house. I just was like, I don't know. I'm not the type of person that wants to be a leader or anything like that. I don't aspire to I don't know, whatever. I just wasn't that type of person. But something in me was like, invite these girls over. Just invite them to your house. It's not a big deal. So I did, and it was just the most beautiful evening ever. And following the moon for me has been something that has helped me not just learn about myself, on a spiritual level, but on a physical level as a woman. The moon has explained so much about my body to me. So that's the main takeaway for me is realizing like you said, Pachamama, we're part of this. We are aligned with these things, and the moon is just one small part of that. So it's crazy to say it's one small part of something that's big, so big and transformative for us. Isn't that crazy?
Thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us a little bit more about the moon phases and what exactly goes into a moon ritual, or because I'm sure you've probably been to other moon, former moon rituals. I've only been to yours, I think.
I've been to mine also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us what, for anybody who wants to maybe join one of your moon rituals, tell them first, moon phases, and also how you conduct your rituals.
Sure. So I wanted to highlight the 4 main moon phases because, because of timing. First of all, a moon ritual consists of whatever you want it to consist of, but our moon ritual is a lot of journaling comes with it. Whether you're doing it for the new moon or the full moon, journaling is a really big part of the full moon rituals. Sometimes you burn papers, sometimes you keep them, sometimes you put them in a safe spot, or put like a crystal over it, depending on what you're trying to manifest from it. There's also, candles. We meet, whenever we meet, we pull oracle cards. I usually pull an oracle card or 2 or 3 when we meet on Zoom anyway. This month we're hoping to meet in person though, so, and then we'll be on Zoom too, so just like Freddie and Joanne do, our shamans, for those that don't know. But yeah, so it involves also, what else? Cleaning your house is a big thing. And let me just go through really quick these 4 moon phases for you ladies and what is good, and it's really quick. So the new moon is all about new beginnings. The best thing to do during a new moon is to clean your space, your house, your apartment, whatever your favorite room is in the house. If you don't have time to clean the whole house, clean that room, chill in that room, start listing your goals and your intentions. It's a time to get organized and prepare yourself, basically. Then we have the waxing moon. That's when the moon, actually, the new moon, you can't see the moon, right? It's dark. It's like on the other side. So when you get the waxing moons, waxing means that it's growing in illumination. So the moon is starting to, become that little crescent over time. It keeps growing. So it's all about expanding. It brings energy of growth to your intentions and your goals. So you're doing your thing. You're like, oh my God, I feel so good, And when you're aware that the moon is in waxing phase, you'll be extra cognitive, extra aware of your goals, and you won't forget like what you have to do. So it's also time to look closely and to release what goals are not serving you during that time. I suggest during the waxing moons to, pull an oracle card for yourself or 2, or whatever type of divination you want. There's runes, there's like palm readings, whatever it is that you like to do that is divination during the waxing moon, do it. Then you got the full moon, which is the sun illuminating the moon completely. This represents completion, fertility, abundance, and transformation. So you want to clean and like get organized too, but what you really want to do is purge and release, burn papers, like I said, burn your excess clothing if you have to, whatever. I don't know. But it can also be a time of friction and polarities, and that's because the sun and the moon are opposite each other. That's why the moon is so bright, because the sun is shining directly on it, but at the same time they're bumping heads a little bit. So that's why we all feel so crazy when there's a full moon sometimes. So this is a time to, like I said, write down the things that you want to release, burn that paper, come back inside, write down your intentions, what you want to see in the world, and your affirmations, like I am a successful businesswoman. Write them all down like it's happening already. And then you have the waning moon. The waning means that the moon is now getting smaller in illumination. So you start to see that crescent forming on the other side of the moon now. So the light decreases, the cycle ends. And basically this is a good time to withdraw and relax. Like, just be with yourself. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. The moon is, starting to become a little bit dimmer. So there's no point in, continuing all of that.
I love that. Thank you for that. I didn't realize, well, I know that there's phases in the moon, but I think I need to up my game on practicing rituals that don't always align with new and the full moon. Mm-hmm. So thank you for breaking that down. I'm definitely going to come back and listen to this and take some like thorough notes because I want to follow along.
Sure. And if you want, I have to find it, but I have one for all of the 8 phases of the moon.
Oh yes. I have the like a moon app that I use and CoStar and Pattern, but to hear it broken down like that gives me a little bit more clarity on like things that I could be doing around that time frame too, and then also aligning it with myself as a woman, a cycle, my sacred cycle, things like that. And then one thing I also wanted to touch on was it's ironic you brought up Kelly Espino because I was talking to her today, and she did the mediumship course with me with Vanessa, and Vanessa is how I got my Reiki. Vanessa at the Biz Bruja, Vanessa Coronel. you guys know I share all of her articles related to the moon phases, the new and full moon, when she does them on belatina.com. So I had talked to Kelly about having her on here so we could talk about some of the things she does. So, you know, inner child healing and things like that. And one of the other things that I wanted to touch on was related to your work with Vanessa. You see how we're all kind of all tied together. Tell me more about your journey into becoming a Reiki master, because when did that occur? That was definitely after the last time we spoke on the podcast. So tell me about that journey for you and what Reiki is for anybody who may need a refresher.
Yeah, so Reiki is healing energy. It's an alternative to traditional healing, or I would say it's an addition to traditional healing. When a person is attuned to Reiki, attuned to Reiki, they are attuned to like this healing energy. They become a vessel, or like a channel, you know, through which healing energy will filter through. That's how I see myself as like a filter. So when I started this journey, after I, you know, discovered the mandalas, I saw this like women's little weekend thing in New York available. So I went and I just got like a level 1 attunement. And it was like I had never felt peace like that in my entire life. So I was like, okay, I have to keep going with this. I found another Reiki master in Jersey, because this one was in New York and she wasn't doing she was not offering level 2. So I found someone else. Her name is Amanda Rachel Garcia. Amazing girl, like totally. She's like the definition of celestial to me. Like she's like an angel. But I took her class and I practiced for 2 years, and then finally I decided on my birthday this year to become a Reiki master. And what that means is that I can now teach others Reiki. I can attune them to level 1, 2, and I can make them a master like myself, a teacher. So now I can teach people, I can attune them, and they can help others. You know, I can basically start my own little Reiki school if I want to.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So tell me about, I've had Reiki sessions with you. We're both, we both went through the same, wait, did you do with Vanessa, your Reiki, your master? Okay.
No, I did it with the same girl, Amanda Rachel.
Oh, okay, so I did my level 1, which is attunement for myself to get self-healing, and then I did my level 2, which is to be able to provide healing to others, and this Usui Reiki, which is that's the same one you're trained in, Usui?
Yes, Usui Reiki.
And so for those of you who don't know, Usui Reiki comes from Japan, and the actual name Reiki is life force energy. So we have this like energetic, like our aura or outside of ourselves, right? That helps to balance chakras, help to energetically help clear out things that may be stagnant in our energy that could manifest in the physical body. So I am excited for you to possibly start your school, because I'm only levels 1 and 2, which means that I can do self-healing for myself and I can do it for others. But to be able to teach others to do it, that's something that I'm gonna have to ponder about, because maybe Reiki Master is in the works for me too. So thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna look up the person that you also were trained with. When it comes to Reiki, can you just tell us briefly like how you operate with Reiki? So what do your sessions look like if anybody wanted to maybe book a session with you?
Well, my sessions, what do they look like? That's an interesting question. But okay, so I'll walk you through it briefly, because I don't want to give out too many details.
Oh yeah, you don't have to. Don't give us all of your gems, but just let us know, for somebody who might have not heard what Reiki is, like what is that involved?
Right.
You know, like what, like, because it's non-evasive, right? And so somebody who may not have never heard of Reiki, they might not understand what do you mean? How are you doing this? So
for me, the Reiki sessions, I like to put my clients at ease. So we'll talk a little bit in the beginning about, you know, what your concerns are, what areas you want to focus on. If you know what chakras you want to focus on, you can tell me ahead of time as well. And then there's like on a little massage table, I have my clients lay there and I'll perform some sound healing first, just again to continue putting them at ease, setting a tone also for them. I love to play frequencies while I'm doing the Reiki. So once I'm done with the sound healing, depending on what I feel my client needs, there's so many different frequencies out there. So depending on what I think that they need, I'll play that frequency for them while I'm doing the Reiki on them. And when it comes to Reiki with me now as a Reiki master, it involves pressure points. My master taught me how to channel, like to use pressure points to put Reiki through those channels. So like, you know, in Eastern medicine, if you have a headache, it's like there's like a pressure point in like an organ or something that's causing, you know what I mean? So we learn about those types of things, and I'm excited to just, you know, keep practicing with it.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's not,
now I need to book an in-person session with you.
Yeah, I think it's for sure. It's a radical type of thing, you know, they don't really do that in Reiki. So this is something that she's teaching us, and it's changing the game for me, like for real. You can even use tuning. Like I'm dying to get tuning forks. I should probably tell someone that I want tuning forks for Christmas.
I don't even know what is it?
Tuning fork. It's like this little, like there has like two prongs like this, and then it has like a stick in the middle. It's like a fork, but it's only two prongs, and you hit it, and it causes a frequency sound, like a ding, like a ping. And there's different frequencies, and you can use that on, you know, the chakras.
Oh wow!
On different points of the body. It's amazing.
That's really awesome. I actually went to a Swedish cabin museum that they have around here in Upper Darby, and in one of the cases they had something that looked like that, but they called it like an eating utensil. So I'm wondering if it was used for something else, you know, something for healing. So with all that said, thank you so much for sharing. I have one last question for you.
Yes. Tell
me in 4 words what healing means to you.
In 4 words. Do they have to, is it like a sentence or just 4 separate words?
Oh, what? That's a good question. Whatever your heart speaks, girl.
For me, healing means balance. I think finding the ultimate balance.
Yes, I'm fingers
that's for me. That's important. So important to me because, you know, with the bipolar diagnosis, I need balance. I need stability. So, and it's not just like, you know, with that goes for anything, for anyone that has anything that they need to deal with. Balance is the most important thing, and I think that healing is that finding your own balance. And balance is different for everybody.
I love that. That is so true. Finding your own and finding your ultimate balance. I love that. So tell us one more time, Maryann, how can we find you? Website, IG, all the things.
Yes, my website is mysticalmandalamama.com. You can follow me on Instagram at mystical.mandala.mama. And yeah, those are the best 2 ways to reach me. My email is on my website directly. Like you can email me directly from my website or from my IG. I am available. So yeah, reach out, guys. I'm here for you.
Thank you. And don't forget to check out her website next week. She'll be dropping her mandala shirts. Get your healing on with mandalas. Sign up with moon ritual with her, Reiki session. Yeah, and you're in North Jersey, so a lot of my people in this group, or if you're listening and watching this, let them know where you're at, because they may want to do an in-person Reiki session with you, or come out to a moon ritual. So
I'm in Bergen County. I'm in Inglewood, but I can travel anywhere in the Bergen County area. So yeah, I'm
awesome. And if you're in my area, you want Reiki with me, holla at me. I know. I haven't been doing any in person, so definitely holla at her for in person right now. So any last words that you want to share before we close out?
No, that's all. Thank you so much, my soul sister. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having this channel, this this space available for us to learn from each other and to support each other. I just really appreciate you for that.
Thank you so much. I receive it all. And namaste to you, and have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the I'm Healing podcast, where we review all healing stories and solutions for the soul. If you like this episode, make sure that you let us know, leave a review, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And as always, happy healing.